The number is $847. You know this without checking. You knew it when you woke up. It lives in the back of your mind. Rent is due in 9 days. Rent is $920. You do the math without deciding to do the math. It just happens, automatically, like breathing. It is the constant involuntary background calculation of a person whose financial life has absolutely no margin for error and knows it. Let's look at this pipeline mapping a standard month. After taxes, the paycheck is $2,180. After rent, transport, groceries, and the phone bill are taken out, you are left with this tiny trickle at the end, $317. That is the exact financial geometry of what you have to work with, $317 for the unexpected. Then the first reset happens. The car makes a noise. The mechanic hands you a paper with $440 on it. In an instant, that saved margin is absorbed, and you start all over again from zero. This is the pattern. Not poor decision-making, not a lack of discipline. It is what happens mechanically when income and expenses occupy the exact same space. You are running on a treadmill at a speed that requires your full effort just to maintain your exact position. Then the race comes through, an extra $341 a month. You feel the relief for exactly 19 days, but then the car insurance renews at a higher rate. The landlord sends a notice. A forgotten streaming service hits your account. The new money evaporates, not dramatically, but in pieces. This chart shows the reality of that raise. On the left is the old income and expenses, leaving zero margin. But looking at the right, we see the higher income is matched by equally higher expenses, still leaving nothing. You earned more, but you have the exact same amount. This is when the question forms, a suspicion that the problem might not be the amount of money coming in. It might be something underneath the income that the income alone cannot fix. Earning a higher salary rarely cures living paycheck to paycheck, because pouring more water into a pipe doesn't matter if the plumbing is designed to drain it all away. To fix the plumbing, we must look at how capital actually moves. We have to shift from daily survival to the mechanics of wealth. The distinction is almost offensively simple. A salary requires your physical presence. If you stop showing up, the money stops arriving. An asset does not require your presence. You own it, it works, and you receive output. The engine of wealth accumulation is converting labor into assets. You divert income into a machine that works independently. So you invest $400. 4 days later, it drops to $391. That $9 dip feels like immediate evidence of a mistake. If you rely on willpower, or if you constantly check your balance, you will fail. The human brain is simply not designed to resist available money or tolerate short-term losses. You change jobs. The new salary gives you $350 more a month. But you do not upgrade the apartment, you do not upgrade the car. This map shows the only trick that works. Before the incoming salary ever touches your checking balance, that $350 difference hits a fork in the road and is automatically routed straight into an investment vault. You remove the decision entirely. You make the savings happen before the spending is possible, making the money unavailable before your brain even knows it exists. The months pass. You don't look at it. And then, sitting in your car in a parking structure on a random Friday lunch break, you check your phone. The account has crossed $10,000. There is no champagne, just 3 more meetings to attend. But that night, something internal shifts. It is not euphoria. It is a recalibration. Like standing in a dark room and someone has turned the lights on, just dimly, just enough to finally see the shapes of things. You can see a future. That is the exact moment the financial structure begins to hold its own weight. The abstract math on a screen has finally converted into tangible physical stability. Years later, on a Wednesday morning, you are making coffee. You check the app with the routine attention of someone monitoring a system. The number is $100,400. There is no grand resolution. A 4% return on this amount is barely $4,000 a year. That is not a salary. You cannot retire on it. This graph shows what that number actually represents. For years, the line is flat and slow. But right here at the $100,000 mark, the machine finally has real mass behind it. The compounding interest suddenly has enough weight to compound against itself. It is not a destination. It is the achievement of mass. It is the first time the system can generate significant force on its own, without requiring your labor to push it. Below this threshold, every decision is reactive. The car brakes, you respond. The rent goes up, you respond. You are permanently playing defense, one unexpected event away from starting over at zero. Above the threshold, the system absorbs those shocks entirely. The decisions become proactive, strategic. You are no longer responding to a financial life happening to you. You are designing the one you are moving toward. This is why the popular internet advice that wealth is a mindset gets it backward. They are confusing the effect for the cause. You do not manifest money by thinking differently. The structural stability creates the mindset, always, not the other way around. The distance between panic and peace is not a massive salary. It is the invisible architecture of small, automated decisions built quietly over time. The machine has mass now. Let it run.